All right, guys, we're gonna call this the 4th of July special. I got my 4th of July gear on here, although it's the 2nd of July. So figured I'd get out here, and it's funny. It's Saturday morning, and with all the cool cars and everything else I got in the shop, I woke up excited this morning to come and work on this pile. And it's funny how these shitty old cars sometimes can be the most fun. And I was pretty motivated when I first got out here. I'm going to share that with you. And unfortunately now I'm not so motivated, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the car. So stay tuned to see some of the history and the details and exactly what's wrong with this original 85 GT T-Top. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the infamous project. We are in car / en route this morning to check out another potential Foxbody. So one of my neighbors at my commercial property was like, man, I know where there's this Foxbody sitting at a wrecker / towing yard, and I guess it's going to end up coming with a bonded title if I buy it. He wants to say it's a T-roof, but he's not 100% sure. It's just been sitting there, and he wants the car gone. So another one not too far from home. So we're gonna go check it out and see what it's all about. You know, he doesn't want very much money for it, so don't know if there's even really gonna need to be a negotiation. I'm told $1,000. So being a wrecker means that he's gonna have some tow trucks, so maybe it'll even be $1,000 and it delivered, which is even better. That means I don't have to hook up a trailer or none of that stuff. So we'll see how it goes when we get there. I think you might be right about the T-top though.
That's what
hiding way back there.
It looks like it has that divider right there.
Yeah, it does. So how long has this been sitting here?
I've had it here probably a year and a half, 2 years.
Take the wasps out. Cowboy boots.
That's extra.
All right.
But if you take them out, that's double extra. How you been, Randy? Pretty good.
So it was just sitting. We don't know if it ran or anything.
Yeah, it's
$94,000 it says. Got some Halo seats in here. I love the carpet. It's just like someone's home carpet that they've installed. Probably used to be a worker's car. That's sweet. There we go, guys. Must be looking at an 85 with AC. The old carbureted setup, underdrive pulleys. Couldn't tell you if this thing is seized up or what. Frame rails look good. So there we go, a little bit of Foxbody shopping in the morning. Got covered in a bunch of sticky burrs, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to check these things out. So the car will have a clean title. I pulled the Carfax report while I was up in the lot, and it's only got 6 line items on the whole report. It's been an Austin/San Antonio car based on those records, so I don't think it's been anywhere outside of that area. Last registered on the road in 2013. No mileage has ever been reported on it, so not that I think that 91,000 miles is accurate. It could be, you know, the car is all there, it's all together, and what, if it was on the road up until 2013, yeah, it's probably 191,000. Someone was using that as like their little mechanic car or whatever it was. Whoever drove it was clearly in the trades and had all their stuff on there. So where am I going here? So in terms of price, I got them down to 850 bucks, and it's not too bad. I was hoping I could get delivery included since he's got a flatbed right there, but he kind of laughed and said, yeah, no. So gonna have to sort that out. I'll figure out, do a little bit of number crunching here. It's probably gonna be a flipper. I don't think I'd build it. You really just need to see it more closely in person. Does the motor turn over? Is the floorboard messed up? You know, the frame rails look good, but you just never know where it was parked or what was going on. So it might be worth just the buy. I don't think I'm gonna lose money on it, no matter how you look at it from that perspective. We'll go from there. So I'm gonna go home, grab the coffee I didn't have this morning, and think about this, and we'll report back. All right, guys, my next bucket of problems has arrived. Look at that. I opted for it. I pulled the trigger. I got it. 85 T-top, Texas patina. All right, guys, so welcome to the 85 GT. It's a pretty pimp car. It's got the custom home carpet modification here in a beige shag color. And I was just going over some stuff real quick. You know, actually the dash pad's actually in amazing shape, believe it or not. Doesn't even have a crack on it, which I'm really surprised for being in Texas heat. Got a CD here, some John Wayne, and the old Alpine head unit, which dates the car pretty good. But the funniest thing, and I wish I had the camera, guys, is I opened up this glove box and I saw this envelope that said $200 on it. And I kid you not, I'm not making this up. There was literally $200 in the glove box. And I died laughing. I couldn't believe it because I was trying to get the guy down in his price by $200 for the car, and he wasn't budging. So little does he know, I ended up getting the car for what I was originally wanting to get the car for. So sometimes good shit happens, and I'm not going to complain whatsoever. So the bad news is that I put a bar on the crank pulley and I think the motor is seized. Probably gonna have to pull out the spark plugs. We'll spray some magic fluid down into the cylinders and maybe we'll see if we can break it free. Before we do that, because there's no keys for this car and I want to be able to move it around if I need to, is gonna get this ignition cylinder out of here and swap it out for one from my parts cars. So what we need to do to get this done is take the column plastics out here. There we go. Try and do the old one-handed screwdriver action. All right, there we go. So see this pin right here? Normally what would happen is if you had your key and you turn the ignition forward, you can push that pin up and it'll allow you to slide the lock cylinder out. So since we don't have a key, we need to drill out this pin, and then that'll allow us to slide the ignition out. So that is the name of the game. Alright guys, so here we are. Things have cooled down a little bit. The GoPro was just constantly in overheating mode, and it was hot in there trying to drill out that lock cylinder. I got it out, I got it swapped over, and everything's good to go there. This thing, it's got potential. It's probably the best way to put it. There's just all kinds of little gems and treasures. There's like an old tool belt, there's some chain. The indoor carpet is just something I've never seen before, but somebody actually kind of took the time to get it in there and make it somewhat look right. I love the white electrical tape wrapped around the clutch pedal. So I don't know, extra grip. Pad was probably falling off non-stop, so they did that. You can see a little speaker drilled and hanging there. There's actually speakers just loosely. Funny enough, the Alpine head unit works. This speaker works. There's a game of chess back here, taillight lens, cowboy boots, all kinds of goodies. And amazingly enough, that dash pad is just mint. Oh, look at that, we have a nice cutoff wheel. I thought that was a CD. Can always use a cutoff wheel. So that's the story on the inside. I did put a battery in it, and the starter does sort of engage, but then gets stuck. And the worst part of the situation is I put a bar on the crank pulley and I tried to turn it over and it's stuck. So I got the can of PB Blaster. I have soaked all the cylinders with it, and here's the spark plugs that have come out. And my apologies again for not getting this on film, but you guys should know how to take out your spark plugs. They're kind of gummy and gunky. There was no air cleaner over the carburetor, so who knows if stuff has got down in there. Who knows if it had a blown head gasket or what's going on. Everything seems to be here. It's just a matter of, can we get this thing to turn over? Now, funny enough, once I pulled all the plugs out and then I tried to bump the starter a few times, I did manage to rotate the crank pulley. Like, it moved, I don't know, 5 minutes worth of rotation if you were to look at it like a clock, and then that was it. So I've put the PB Blaster in the cylinder holes. It can sit in there overnight. We'll see what happens. I'll bring the bar back out tomorrow. We'll see if we can break this thing free. I don't know if maybe a little bit maybe with the starter is getting hung up or what. The car is solid. Like, there's primer on it, but everything is here. The glass is here. The sail panel on the passenger side is missing. I believe it was jalapeno red in terms of its original color. And you know, on the insides, it's all there. Amazingly enough, it still even has like the little Ford plaque down there. And I guess we're missing a fender extension up here. A few little things are missing, but I mean, what do you want for an 85 T-top? Oh yeah, like look at this, guys. You hardly ever get an opportunity to see such nice floor pans right there where the firewall meets that driver's side floorboard. And I know the passenger side's just as nice. Somebody put some bolt-in subframe connectors. And what do we got there? Looks like some Flowmasters, an off-road homemade H-pipe. Flashes here. There we go. Oh, look at this. Low fuel. All this shit actually works. Who would have thought? Wonder if this... Yesterday we sprayed the PB Blaster down in the cylinder holes there, and normally you gotta wait a couple days to see if you made any progress in terms of unseizing your motor, but you know what, I just want to see what happened overnight, if anything, because this did turn a little bit yesterday. Yeah, it's still not moving. So here's a nice little trick. Just get a piece of vacuum line, rubber hose, whatever you got, and then this will allow you to maneuver your can and your nozzle around a little bit more so you can get into all of the cylinder openings. I'm actually going to spray a bit more PB Blaster, because why wouldn't I, given the opportunity. I'll fill these cylinders right up, I don't care. Got nothing to lose in this $750 car. Next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to jack the car up. I'm going to try to put air on this tire. We'll get this aired up. We jack up the car, and then we're going to see if there's oil. More importantly, we're going to see if there's water in the oil, and then that'll give us a good indication of maybe what's going on inside the motor. So we'll go ahead and do that, and all we can do here is time and let that sit. So we might as well hop on a few other things. You know what, being carbureted won't take much to pull off a valve cover. Maybe I'll blow off all the mouse shit, everything else that's hiding in there, and we'll take a look at the rockers underneath. Who knows, maybe with these fancy valve covers there's a set of rockers underneath. All right, air on the tire. Got our little impact jobby here. Actually, you know what, it doesn't even look that bad under there. Just give you guys an idea of how we're looking. So I'm just going to go ahead and bolt that back on. I'm going to assume the other side is actually fine, and the reason why I say I'm going to assume that is for two reasons. Number one, the spark plugs actually looked worse on this side than they did on the other side. And number two, this side is the one that actually had the breather hole wide open to the atmosphere. So in my eyes, everything should actually be okay. Plug is actually loose. Who knows? Oh, look at the water. So we got water, and we got sludge, and pretty much no oil. So what does this tell us? This tells us that, oh, there we go, maybe there is a little bit of oil in here. I feel like somebody drained the oil out of this for the most part. We'll see what happens. This is just going to be my assumption. Oil was drained. You know, the radiator hoses were disconnected, like they were going to disconnect the rad and maybe attempt to start pulling the motor. And never got further than that. All right guys, so this is some used oil. Yes, used. And I just want to pour enough in here to get it coming out of the drain plugs and to flush out any of the sludge and other crap that's there. I don't want to waste good oil on it. To kind of get it to want to come out the front. Once we start getting that flushed out, then I'll open up the rear, and then we'll get all that out, and then we're going to pour in our anti-sludge, anti-seizing formula. Down to try and promote more oil to come forward. and looks like it's still trying to work its way past all that sludge. I'm gonna have to pour some more in there. Hopefully we can get some more out. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spray a bunch of WD-40 in through that hole, and that should try and loosen some things up a little bit, and just hopefully get as much of the gunk and everything else out. Oh, actually, you know what, guys? I think this motor has some metal in the bottom. I swear I just felt stuff moving around. Let's see if I can get something to get it. So I'm going to try and clean this up as much as I can, and then we'll see if we can shine a light in there and see what we're looking at. Oh yeah, that is mangled. Not sure what piece that is, but I'll tell you one thing, this motor will not be running again until it is torn apart. So that solves that problem, guys. I might as well just go ahead. We'll drain the oil out of the back, and this motor is going to be a rebuilder. All right, guys, so there you have it. We got motor issues. So how motivated could you be when you got metal on the bottom of the motor? So good news is it's carbureted. It'd be pretty easy just to slap another motor in here real quick, but then you got suspension and you got brakes and all of those things, and I really just don't want to slam this car together for the sake of slamming it together. Now, I have a really good friend whose son just got his driver's license. He was looking for a nice first car project. Maybe this could be it. I've actually got a brand new GT front bumper cover and the nose panel that could go on here, and that would pretty much clean up what's missing body wise, and good paint and or body and paint project, and good little motor restoration project as well. Really wouldn't take much. You know, these motors are so easy. You guys have seen me take them out, you know, in less than 2 hours, and probably plop another one in there pretty quick. And being carbureted, you know, that much easier. Less stuff in the way. Don't even need to take the upper intake off, nothing, you know. We can unbolt all these accessories in the front and just yank this guy out. So something to think about. Maybe somebody's gonna offer me money for it. Hell, maybe I'll throw in that $200 I found in the glove box, a little $200 cashback reward for purchasing this amazing 85 GT. It is a really nice car, guys. Like, there's a little bit of surface rust, call it Texas patina through the primer. You know, I think somebody was wanting to invest a little bit of time into it. Clearly it needs a new carpet and a little bit of interior work, but that dash pad is mint. All the glass is there. You're missing that rear sill panel, but other than that, you know, you could paint this thing back to jalapeno red. I'm assuming that's what the original color was, and this would be a pretty cool car. I've already got a 4i project and I've already got a T-top project, so I definitely don't need a 4i T-top project combined on top of the other two. So I'm going to leave this here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, a little bonus for the 4th of July. Hope that you guys are enjoying yourselves, drinking beer, drinking water, drinking whiskey, whatever it is that you favor. And we'll see you guys here next time on the Infamous Project.